time, make a head pop.
How's everyone doing this evening? First, I want to apologize for not being on last night, but we had some technical difficulties last night and had to get it squared away. This is what happens when you do updates on devices, and sometimes the updates cause more problems than they solve problems. So we got that iron out, and we're here today. I'm Dre of Recovery One Drones, and this is the last call. We're just going to go ahead and kill a little time because I'm trying to squeeze in some time. I talked to Lloyd earlier today, and he gave me his blessing to kind of squeeze in on his time, but I didn't want to overrun into Ron and Marcus's and DeMarco's time at 6 p.m., 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So we're going to talk some things tonight, cover some stuff some of the stuff was covered last night on Wedge and Big Show with Vic Moss, but we're going to put our little bit of spin on it and talk about some other things that are going on in the drone community. Somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know you can hear me properly. And if anything else I need to adjust, I appreciate that. And make sure everything is looking good. All right there, Dominic. Give me a big pink hand. Appreciate that. So who we got so far? I see, we got Waypoint New England. We got James Becerra. Dominic Northside Hawk. Okay, Bob Casey in the house. Okay. We're going to start. I know I'm on at a different time and probably catching a lot of folks by surprise, but I saw that Pilot Institute didn't come on at 4 o'clock like they normally do, so I decided to go ahead and jump on now and try to squeeze in as much time as I can. So here we are so far, and we're going to maybe sit here for maybe another minute or two. So many folks jump in. Other than that, we're going to keep pushing forward, folks, because like I said, I don't want to step on too many other folks' toes. Like I say, Lloyd gave me his blessing, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm just trampling over Lloyd's time slot that comes up at 5 p.m. So we're going to keep on pushing from there. First thing I'm going to talk about, which has always been on everybody's mind for the past month, is the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. Tip of the cap to everyone who contacted their local representatives, either be congressperson or senator, in bringing this proposed CCCP and also the First Responders Act, a mixture of both or either one of them, failed to make it into the National Defense Authorization Act. But it doesn't mean by any far stretch of the imagination that this fight is over. We might have got a small victory initially here, but there are continuing people in the works that are trying to push forward other amendments, and that brings us up to Congressperson Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, now congressman of Florida, has already stated that he will be proposing an amendment after the recess, which I'm going to get on that here next after I talk about Congressperson Scott. And so he's already making plans to add an amendment to the NDAA concerning drones. So we know that we have individuals that are still out there trying to do things that will affect all of us, either you being a recreational / hobbyist or people like myself who are commercial operators. This type of language can definitely alter, change, or restrict any future operations that we might want to conduct. Now, so I encourage you, as you see the banner going across the screen, you can go to the Drone Advocacy Alliance.com. It's an automated system that allow you to contact your local representatives from any state that you reside in. And I encourage you to do so. The more often we contact them, the more information they're going to get hammered with, and they're going to have to start asking questions. What is all this about? And I'm sure a lot of them know. A lot of times you would need to contact their staff. If you can't talk to the representative directly, a lot of times you will get directed to one of their staff. And these are the folks you need to educate, because these people have the ear of the elected official, their staff members. So these are the folks we really kind of got to sell what's going on to, so they can pass on that information to the elected official. So when they go up before Congress, or in Congress gets back in session at the end of this month, first, I think it's going to be right after Labor Day, they go back into, so it'll actually be the first week of September. They will have some type of, at least we plant a seed, I should say. We're planting a seed for them to be on notice of what is taking place. So I'm not going to sit here and say that all the representatives are against us, but there are a select group who are definitely trying to make a name for themselves one way or another by continuing to squeeze in these amendments, either be a first responder under a false pretense or a direct Chinese drone manufacturer ban, since that seems to be what they believe is the sentiment of the public. And as of late, with the attempt on Donald Trump's life, and everybody's asking the question, how come the Secret Service or anybody else did not have a drone up looking for potential threats? But like I say, this is just somebody's thinking who didn't think on the largest scale of risk assessment, who didn't think that maybe having a drone would be additional coverage for those who were out there with eyes on. This whole situation could have been thwarted if we possibly could have had a drone in the air, keeping an eye on this individual, no matter where he went, where he eventually climbed onto. We would have had eyes on him the whole time, but that's neither here or there. We cannot change. Like I say, it's always 2020 in the rearview mirror. So hopefully there'll be no other type of activities from individuals who themselves use the drone to scout the location, to give them a tactical advantage. So you never know what may happen. Now, next on my list here, now that I talked about the NDAA, those of you who have already gone through the Drone Advocacy Alliance platform and you signed up on their website, I just received an invitation from them concerning potential town hall meetings or Zoom meetings involving representatives. So if you happen to get an email from the Drone Advocacy Alliance talking about, do you want to be contacted about potential town hall meetings or Zoom meetings with your local representative, make sure you sign up for that. I think this would be an excellent way to put a face. A lot of times when people read emails, like I said, there is a standard email that the Advocacy Alliance group has that you can send, and we always encourage folks to put your own story in there in your own words. But if you get the opportunity to get face to face, get on a Zoom, like I have done through Bob up out in Nevada, that is even a better opportunity to put a face behind what is taking place, a face behind who we are as people within the community who use these drones for recreational purposes, hobbies purposes, or commercial purposes. They need to see who we are. Just like I say, sometimes the email is not enough. Sometimes they need to see who we are. Hey, look, Mom and Drone. Glad you came in, partner. I know Pilot Institute took the day off or something, so hopefully we'll get quite a few of their people to come over here. Mr. Bud Bieber, thank you for coming in, sir. Appreciate your presence. JSK, thank you, partner. Appreciate your presence. So it's one thing I want to try to advocate, that even though Congress is in recess right now, and we can kind of take a breather in a matter of speaking, this is our time to get reorganized, reaffirm, and re-up our efforts to make sure we stay on top of this. Like I say, we've been successful up to this point, and there's a lot of folks in this game that many of us that don't know about. A lot of law enforcement agencies, first responder agencies are basically hammering these representatives also about what they're trying to do and how they will cripple the industry of what we're doing out there, especially first responders. We hear every day how drones are assisting first responders, either be law enforcement, firefighting, or whatever the situation may be. So we need to continue on to support all these efforts, support our voice out there. And that's what brings me to the point where now I'm on my soapbox, and I feel this situation should awaken all the eyes of those who use FPV, quadcopters, even RCs. We need to have a larger voice, a larger singular voice. Because like I always say, when people like Vic Moss go to Washington, D.C., and he speaks to these individuals, he needs to have a little more weight behind him. And that's what's very key, very, very key for a lot of people, is that when they see the numbers behind an individual who represents us, that has more of an impact than anything else. And that's why I'm proposing that we form some type of drone coalition group, which encompasses quadcopters, FPV pilots, and even RCs. There's quite a few people who do a mixture of both. So I don't want to exclude anyone from being part of a coalition, which was basically the definition of a coalition is to bring groups together. And that's what we need to do in our community, is bring everyone together to represent ourselves to those who have been elected to enact legislation. But like I say, if they're not speaking on behalf of those they represent, they are speaking on behalf of lobbyists who are basically bringing money to the table, and they represent this special interest. So we need to make sure that we get our faces out there. We bond as a group. And like I say, I like to put this on the backs of those like Pilot Institute and Vic Moss's group and others who are already entrenched in this area, that we need to be able to have some type of sign up or whatever, where everybody goes in and can be counted for. And that when Vic Moss and Greg and the rest of those guys go before these elected officials, they are speaking on the tens of thousands of us who are out here participating in this hobby and in this commercial industry. So like I say, it's either two things representatives understand. They understand numbers and they understand money. And like I say, it'd be nice if we had both, but we need to come at least with numbers to say, hey, I represent, 50,000, 100 something thousand, 200,000, 500,000 RC quadcopters, FPV pilots that reside in this country, who participate in this hobby, this commercial industry, providing services to this industry helping first responders and what they need to do in very many communities. So I tell folks, we need to bolster our numbers. We need to get involved. We need to put a face on who we are and be able to have those numbers behind those who are out there already in the trenches trying to get the word out there to these elected officials. Okay. Now that I'm going to get off my soapbox a little bit, and we're going to laugh a little bit here. Of recent videos, like I said, I look at a little bit of everybody. I just don't look at just the quad coppers. I do watch a lot of FPV videos out there. I give the FPV pilots out there a tip of the cap because that is a whole nother level of skill set, from the building part to the actual operations. And I see the things that these individuals do, and I say that might be a little bit beyond my skill set. Maybe down the road I might pick up a FPV system and learn it myself and see what all the hoopla's about. But I have to point a finger at these guys because just recently, if you haven't been watching the news, I'm going to tell you this. FPV's gone to war. Okay? FPV type drones are being used daily in the Ukraine war. And now that it has been established as a go-to weapon platform, I guess the lead company Red Cat, which has under their umbrella Fat Shark, Rotor Riot, are now supplying whoever's buying. And for a person like myself who is a veteran, I understand that if one person doesn't make it or sell it, somebody else will. And that's why here in America, we call that capitalism. Okay? Even though the activities are taking place halfway around the world, if someone can make $1, somebody's going to make that dollar. Okay? And, I can't shame Red Cat for doing what they're doing, because what people understand in this situation with Ukraine and Russia, I don't care what side you're on, but I know this. By Ukrainians getting whatever devices they need to defend their land, that means there is less likely a chance for American troops to have to step in and hold the line. That is what is at stake here. And that's the part I think people don't understand, is that if Ukraine doesn't get the necessary tools that it needs, that means it's more of a chance for U.S. troops will have to step in the breach and hold the line. And like I said, no one understands peace or appreciates peace more than the soldiers who have to stand in the breach to hold the line. And that's the thought right there, because I tell people, they're going to boycott, Red Cat, Fat Shark, Rotor Riot, they're going to boycott them. And I always laugh. And I say, okay, you're going to boycott them. But I said, did you boycott Boeing? Did you boycott Lockheed Martin? Northrop Grumman? Those guys are the biggest defense contractors on the planet. Boeing makes commercial planes, so if you took a flight anywhere in your lifetime, you're supporting war. Lockheed Martin makes a lot of the aircraft. Back in the day, it used to be Lockheed and Martin something else. They're two separate. They joined together right around the late 80s to form Lockheed Martin. And Northrop Grumman is probably one of the most prolific fighter jet manufacturers and anti-surface missile manufacturers on the planet. So that's what I'm saying, that, people talk about boycotting something. That means you got to boycott everything. I heard people talking about, I don't support killing other people, stuff and everything else. I said, you know what? It may sound good in your head. It may look good to your followers and everything else. But I said, if you're going to boycott, American companies developing weapons, you got a long list, a long laundry list of companies that are participating and have always participated in defense and weapons. And that's not even talk about ammunition and actual, guns and so forth. So now you're talking about a whole nother list of companies you would need to boycott. So I always say, you can miss me with that kind of stuff because I always tell even SpaceX, which it seems to be the favorite of our community because of the technology from SpaceX. What do you think all those GPS satellites are doing that keep going up every week? He just shot another rocket off at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, taking up more satellites. Them satellites ain't just for HBO or Max or whatever else you're watching. Them satellites are also there for war, for the purpose of tracking using GPS. And we all know about GPS because a lot of us, if not all of us, have drones that use GPS. So, like I said, there's a lot of folks that you would have to boycott to really clear your conscience about not supporting companies that manufacture certain things that kill other people. There's a long list. So, you can, if you sleep better at night saying that you want to boycott Red Cat and the rest of its entities under their umbrella, fine with you. But don't sit there and fool yourself thinking that, hey, Eddie, good to see you in. Night Train. And was that Nick Rich? How you doing? But don't fool yourself thinking that, talking about boycotting one little faction of a company is going to bring an actual war to its knees. You got a long list to go through for the most part. And the funny part is that there was beef within the FPV community for the last, 4 or 5, maybe 6 months between the big boys, Bot Grinder, Drone Camps, Bardwell. They had their own beef going on, so I guess, they got tired of beefing with each other and boycotting each other. So now they're all going to go jump on the bandwagon and go boycott Red Cat. I don't know. Maybe it helps them all sleep better at night. Now, the last part here, and I think I'm going to be done before Lloyd even comes on, which means I will be nice. Drones again, drones at the Olympics. We always talk about drones being in use for good, but this one's not a good story. Apparently, the Canadian, I think it's a soccer team, was caught spying on the New Zealand team using a drone. And immediately they were caught because around France, around the great Olympic area, there is a 90-plus mile TFR in place. So if you want to launch a drone in France at the Olympics, don't be surprised if a couple guys with funny sounding siren cars and other little odd looking outfits come look you in the eye and says, what are you doing? So the Canadian team, a couple of coaches were banned. Basically, they were sent home and they were docked 6 points already. So there you go. That, drones can always be used for good. And we always, like you say, Rich, knuckleheads who thought they were going to get over on something, but people are not thinking, okay, if the other drones can't fly or shouldn't be flying, what makes you think your drone should be flying? And I'm sure the word got out, don't fly no drones over any Olympic areas, practice fields, the main facilities, all this kind of stuff, for obvious reasons. I mean, France has been dealing with all type of terrorist activities since the opening ceremonies, from people trying to derail the trains. I think that they damaged some more communication lines and all this kind of good stuff. So once again, drones are a tool, and how we use those tools is really the key thing. So like I say, I appreciate everyone who came in here. I apologize again for the mishap last night, not able to get on, but we hope we got it squared away here, and hopefully it won't happen again. But I appreciate all who came in here tonight. Lloyd will be on here in about 15 minutes with his show. I think with Art and I think who else? Dominic comes in with those guys also. And then I believe 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. West Coast time, we have the Drone Nation guys that'll be on. So as always, this is Dre, Recover One Drones. As I always say, hang on and enjoy the ride. Please subscribe. And make things easier. And like I say, fly within the rules. Be safe. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.